Good day, welcome to a new video of Crypto Michael. I had to redo this video as in the previous one I still had my Bluetooth headset connected, so therefore the audio was not correct. My apology for that. No live stream tonight as I'm busy on some other stuff. Next week we will be doing the live streams back at 20:00 GMT +2. Much stuff coming up, obviously, after I've now finished my studies, 99% sure. And it seems to be that the bull market is just continuing. So today we're going to do a video on Bitcoin and what perspectives are there, and Ethereum. And if you like my content, you know the drill. Please subscribe to the channel if you want to stay updated, or like the video beneath, which will improve my video and probably rank me higher on YouTube, so we can get higher and can do more fun stuff. What we see today is essentially that we are starting to show strength, and we are actually attacking the 9.3 level on Bitcoin. But first, what do we see here on the higher time frames on Bitcoin? I'll just add the 100-day and 200-day MAs. We see that we've had a huge crash down. We've had a substantial rally up towards the previous resistance zone, which is essentially the level between 10k to 10.5k. Pre-halving pump, pre-halving dump, and since these two occurred, we've got ourselves a range. And since then the range has been showing what a range is, support and resistances, and we see that we've got decreasing volume, which is typical for a range structure. Next to that, we see that we've got the 100-day and 200-day MA beneath us, and they are actually starting to show up just like they have been doing previously in the previous bull market. And once they stay below the price, the price is actually in a bull territory. What we also see is, when we get it from log, is that we have been testing the range resistance level for already 4 or 5 times, which makes it likely that we're going to break through this range resistance from here, and we can see a substantial trend. However, what can we expect short term from the markets? Well, we have seen these range occurrences quite many times in the previous period. Here we can see in 2016 that we had a nice parabolic move and a clear resistance at $450, and since then the price has been trending upwards in a compression period, in which the breakout of this compression actually accelerated the price of Bitcoin, and the price went almost 2x, or rallied about 60%. Since then, it was the previous halving, so that's probably a trigger why it started to rally up. After this huge surge, you can see that there are significant sideways range periods, in which this case it took about 6 months before we cleared a high, and then we started to accelerate even more at the beginning of 2017. What we also see is that we've got the compression over here before the heavy breakdown, which was beneath the 100-day and 200-day MA. And in this case, we've seen the exact same occurrence here, in which we see that we made a sideways range between 3.5 and 4.2 for about 4 or 5 months. So they are typical, and in this case we see the exact same occurring, in which we can just see that every move is moving without any volume, and given that they are not moving with any volume, we can conclude that it's not the trend making move. So what do we want to see the trend making move and to see a clear direction on the markets? Is that you see a break outside of this range. In this case, if we want to be the bearish one, you want to see that the previous low and the previous OP, which we find between 8.6 and 8.9, is lost. And in this case we are not losing it, we're actually holding it, and because we are holding it, we create a hidden bullish divergence here. Not using that too much, but we're creating a new higher low, in which we are actually getting a compression period towards a resistance wall at 10 to 10.5k, and we most likely even are constructing an ascending triangle, which we actually have seen in this period in the beginning of 2019, but in bigger version we've seen it here. So as I've tweeted earlier today, is that the price can continue going into this ascending triangle structure for a significant period of time. As you can see, it depends on how you draw it, but the primary point I'm trying to make here is that during July, August, and maybe even the beginning of September, less likely, we can continue holding in this range and just compress. And the longer such a price is going to compress, the heavier the breakout will be. So when we break below this previous support level, it's likely that we're going to skip the 7.5k zone and instant drop towards mid 6k's. However, the fundamentals are not there to break down that far. And yes, people are still betting on Corona to come around with the second wave. However, the panic will not be the same as back then. So it's more likely that we have seen a huge liquidity crash downwards, and the people that are waiting for these prices to occur again are going to be the people that's going to be buying back on a significant higher level. If the price is really bullish on Bitcoin right now, I'm not assuming we're going to see these prices again, given that we have been there already and so many people are eager to step into the market, so the price won't hit there. It will be front run. So in this case, it's more likely that we're getting towards the disbelief phase, in which we're going to break further and test some higher levels. Essentially, given that we are bouncing back up again here, continue to range in this sideways range, and once we break through the resistance zone, it's likely that we're going to see a massive surge. So what's the next level? Well, we've got this level around 11A to 12k, still a CME gap, which is likely to be the first tested, but as we are breaking outside of such a compression period, we know it from here, we know it from a small compression over here, we know it from the breakdown here, is that it's more likely that we're going to run towards the 15 to 17k zones, given of the significance of this range that we're breaking through. So the most likely case is that the volume will come above this range resistance, as there are many stops here, there are many breakout plays here, and social media and media will start hyping it up again. The same as when we break below this 8.6k zone, is that there are many triggers, stop loss triggers for longs. So once we zoom in, we can actually see that we're currently trying to break through a resistance. We are not yet confirming that we are breaking through, as we are currently fighting it. I'll just make a rectangle. This whole area is basically, you can see support, resistance, breakthrough, support, fake out, support, resistance. So what you want to see is that in this case the price is going to act, I've got the wrong mouse, is going to act above 9240. You want to see that hold. If we don't get it, we can still have a drop towards 9050 to 91 and still be bullish. So right now we are breaking back above the range resistance, which is in this case this 93 zone, as it's a significant level. If we continue to hold at 92, might wick a little bit lower obviously, but close above it, it's very likely that we're continuing to see a rally towards 96. And if we do, we can see such a move in which 93 is getting reclaimed, and you can see continuation, and then we're just continuing in a range structure towards the range high, and then we get the best nature for altcoins, as in this period majors and other altcoins will probably do really well. And through which one are you watching then? Well, if you're watching altcoins, you have to be watching Ethereum, obviously. Therefore we go towards the other one. Ethereum is actually showing what you want to be seeing from Ethereum, and what we have been pointing out earlier on. Compression period over here, taps of resistances at 215, a flip of the previous resistance, a previous level of confluence for support again after a breakdown, and the fourth test of the previous high cost already towards 250. In this case we've seen 3 tests already. We broke down below support just like we did here. Previous high has been tested twice, and now we're breaking further up and getting towards a short-term resistance zone at 241 to 245. Most likely is that we might tap a little higher, and then we get a retest of the 230 level, and that 230 level is going to be your trigger for a potential long entry. If we hold here and we get above towards the resistance again, it's highly expectable that we're going to break through it, and given the structure we have, I'm assuming that this move is going to accelerate heavily. You can compare it to the area we've got here, that once we break above this range resistance, I think we're going to skip this whole level here as it's less confluence than the 250 level, and I think we're going to target 330 to $400. Why is that? Well, we also know that we've got Ethereum BTC over here, which is currently trying to break through the resistance. If it continues and taps above this high, we get a new higher high since this one, and we get a nice uptrend going. Yes, I've pointed out that if you want to get to 0.023 level for the potential long, it's not getting there at this point, so we can skip it. But once it breaks these highs, it is highly expectable that a heavy uptrend starts to occur here too. And especially given that we've got compression above the 100-day and 200-day MA, it's likely that we're getting a new higher high towards 0.034, in which you can see that we are in an uptrend and more arguments for the bull market are there. I think we are on the beginning of one, and I think you should be highly it should be enjoyable, and you should be happy that you've survived the bear market, and we're getting in the phase where everybody is getting surprised by the actual upward strength, as everybody was also surprised by the downwards pressure. Some altcoins are even back towards the peak highs of 2017, and I think many altcoins will follow that are currently still working, obviously, so you have to search them. But as long as something is listed, it will probably do well. So this was my video for Bitcoin and Ethereum, a small one. If you've enjoyed it, please like me to subscribe to the channel. I'll be back tomorrow with a new video, and then we're going more in depth on longer time frames on Bitcoin and expectations and some TA. Might be doing a Ripple or Stellar video. I'll just think about it for a second. No live stream tonight as discussed. Next week we'll be back, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching.